General Hospital spoilers tease that a seismic showdown is brewing in Port Charles, one that will pit two of the town's most indomitable personalities against each other, Sonny Corinthos and Carly Spencer. Though their marriage officially dissolved years ago, their entangled history refuses to let go, and Carly's undying need to dominate Sonny continues to simmer beneath the surface, ready to explode. The puppeteer's grasp. It is said that Carly Spencer's greatest power lies not in her beauty or her cunning business acumen, but in her unyielding will to control. For decades, she has shaped the lives of Port Charles's most influential men like Clay. No victim of her formidable influence exemplifies this better than Jason Morgan. Since the moment she rescued him from the rubble of his past, Jason has been enmeshed in Carly's orbit, his every action and decision guided by her deft hand. He obeyed her without question, whether it was pursuing dangerous vendettas or protecting her at any cost. Remarkably few times did Jason resist. As the loyal hero, he surrendered his autonomy, convinced that Carly's judgment, honed by years of high-stakes maneuvering, was the truest barometer of right and wrong. But times change, and so do loyalties. Although Jason remains a steadfast ally, his heart now finds counsel in someone new, Jack Brennan. Yet, while Carly's evolution from lover to guardian to mentor signals growth, a deeper pattern endures: Carly's insatiable drive to possess and direct the men in her life. Jack, the ex-Marine with an unshakable moral compass, may have thought himself impervious to such influence, but his love for Carly has become his Achilles heel. Since agreeing to protect Sonny at Carly's behest, a task he undertook with fierce devotion, Brennan has found his own will bowed beneath Carly's expectations. No longer does Jack chart his own course, he waits for Carly's next instruction with bated breath. This dynamic has emboldened Carly even further. With Jack under her thumb and Jason ever at her beck and call, there remains only one crown still eluding her grasp: the unwritten code of loyalty that binds Sonny Corinthos to his own convictions. Though divorced, Sonny and Carly maintain a friendship built on shared history, but Carly yearns to rewrite that friendship in her image, to prove once and for all that even Port Charles's most fearsome mob boss remains, at heart, a man who answers to her. It began in the aftermath of the attempted hit on Sonny in Los Angeles. Details are murky: whispers of a sniper hiding in the shadows, of warning shots meant to scare rather than kill, but the result was undeniable. Sonny, shaken by betrayal and blood, retreated to Carly for counsel. True to form, Carly dispatched Jack Brennan to serve as Sonny's personal bodyguard, a role that suited Jack's fierce protectiveness, but left him hollowed out by the weight of Carly's trust. Having stood by Sonny's side through shootouts and standoffs, Jack believed himself the last line of defense, yet was blinded by the deeper conflict unfolding around him. What Carly will ask of Jack next remains unspoken, but the implication is clear. If Jack must now serve as the scaffolding holding Carly's latest power play in place, then her design on Sonny will soon take shape. Like a spider spinning a web, Carly has woven connections that ensnare Rome's most stalwart souls: Jason, Jack, and soon, perhaps, a man who once vowed never to be anyone's puppet again. Sonny Corinthos is no stranger to control. After all, control is his currency. Whether negotiating deals for ELQ or commanding loyalty from his crime family, Sonny's life has been defined by the iron grip he wields. And yet, when he turned to Carly for guidance in LA, he opened himself to her influence once more, revealing a vulnerability that Carly could not resist exploiting. Soon, a new fissure in Port Charles's underworld will emerge, one where the lines between alliance and subjugation blur, and where Carly will prove that her dominion extends beyond the boardroom and the bedroom, right into the heart of Sonny's empire. Fire and fury. The catalyst for the impending clash is deceptively benign: the fate of the docks. Sonny Corinthos has long held a stake in Port Charles's busiest port, a lucrative asset that funds both his legitimate ventures and his less savory operations. In recent weeks, however, Sonny negotiated a preliminary agreement to sell the docks to Jens Sidwell, an enigmatic tycoon with shadowy ties of his own. Rumors abound. Some say that Sonny seeks to launder vast sums of money. Others whisper that he aims to redirect his focus to family, shedding burdensome enterprises in favor of domestic peace. When Jason Morgan first caught wind of the sale, he approached Carly with urgency. "He's selling the docks," Jason confided one evening at Kelly's, voice low and ragged from countless battles. Sonny thinks he can just give it up, but he doesn't understand what he's risking. For years, Jason had served as Sonny's right hand, a sentinel at the gates of his world. Now he felt helpless, watching his friend trade away the linchpin of his power without counsel. "You need to talk to him," Jason said. "Only you can make him see reason." Carly, ever the strategist, mulled Jason's words carefully. To intervene would be to assert her authority over Sonny, to remind him that she still possessed the power to alter his course. Yet she hesitated, aware that Sonny's decision, however reckless it seemed to her, might conceal deeper motives. Still, Carly could not resist the allure of influence. Under the guise of concern, she invaded Sonny's territory, demanding an audience at his mansion on Vale Avenue. Jason followed, determined to support Carly's plea. The night air was thick with tension as they arrived. Sonny, standing in the foyer, face carved from stone. Carly, radiant in a tailored suit that whispered both elegance and steel. Jason, the silent guardian, ready to broker peace. "Sonny," Carly began, voice rich with feigned sympathy. "You can't sell the docks. It's too risky." She leaned forward, hands clasped to emphasize solidarity. "Think about Jasper. Think about the family's legacy." But Sonny didn't flinch. "You don't get it, Carly," he replied, tone measured yet edged with impatience. "This is about survival, mine and theirs. I need to protect my family from what's coming." When Carly pressed, Sonny's eyes darkened. "You see only the surface," he said. "If I keep the docks, Drew Kane will come for them and me. I can't afford to lose my kids or my empire. So I'll let Sidwell and Drew bleed each other dry. When one falls, I'll step back in and reclaim what's mine." Carly's frustration ignited. She reached forward, silencing Jason's attempted interjection. "That's crazy. You're handing your legacy to a stranger," she snapped. Her voice, laced with fury, filled the grand hall, echoing off marble and wooden beams. "You think Jen Sidwell can handle Drew Kane? You're underestimating him." Sonny's jaw tightened. He stepped forward until only inches separated them. "And you think you know better, Carly?" he hissed. "I run this town. I decide what's best. Don't lecture me about risk. I've weighed the odds. I choose my battles." The air crackled as Carly's eyes blazed. In that moment, the power struggle between them crystallized. Carly, the queen of manipulation, pitted against Sonny, the king of Port Charles, neither willing to yield. Then, in a seismic instant, Carly crossed an unspoken boundary. She raised her voice, daring to challenge Sonny's judgment publicly. "If you won't listen to reason, then maybe you've lost your edge." Her words, sharp as daggers, pierced Sonny's composure. For years, Sonny had held his temper in check, an act of self-control that had served him well. But Carly's taunt broke the dam. With a flicker of motion, Sonny struck her across the face, the impact echoing like a gunshot. The room froze. Carly's cheek reddened, tears of shock forming in her eyes. Jason lunged forward, heart pounding, to pull Carly behind him. "Sonny, what the hell are you doing?" he roared. But Sonny's fury had already blistered the moment. His chest heaved as he glared at Carly, breath ragged. "Don't ever talk to me like that again," he snarled, voice low and menacing. Carly stared at the hand that had struck her, at the man she once loved more than life itself. Realization dawning that her own need for control had cost her more than she could ever anticipate. As sirens wailed in the distance, echoes of a city forever on edge. Jason studied Carly's trembling form. "Come on," he urged, voice gentle beneath the storm. "Let's go." With that, they turned away, leaving Sonny standing alone in the cavernous foyer, the weight of his own violence settling around him like smoke. Shattered bonds. In the aftermath of the confrontation, Port Charles reeled. Carly retreated to the Spencer mansion, nursing both physical and emotional wounds. Jack Brennan, torn between loyalty to Carly and admiration for Sonny's code, wrestled with his own convictions. Jason, burdened by guilt for having set this chain of events into motion, vowed to mend the fractures, though he knew some lines, once crossed, cannot be uncrossed. As for Sonny, the docs remain in limbo, the sale to Jens Sidwell suspended indefinitely. Publicly, he maintains that the matter is under review. Privately, he contemplates the cost of his outburst. He understands, perhaps for the first time, that some battles cannot be won by force alone, and that the true measure of power is the strength to walk away. And so, Port Charles stands at a crossroads. Alliances have been tested, loyalties realigned, and the old order disrupted. In the days to come, one question will dominate every whispered conversation: who, in the wake of such violence, will dare to regain control of their own destiny? In the soft glow of dawn, the streets of Port Charles stirred with uneasy whispers. At Carly's mansion, she stood by the bay window of her study, one hand resting on a stack of legal briefs, the other tracing the bruise slowly fading on her cheek. The superficial ache was a small price compared to the rupture within her soul. Memories of the confrontation flooded back, Sonny's fist connecting with her skin, the hollow thud that echoed louder in her mind than in the grand foyer. She realized, in that moment, that the one person she had groomed, guided, and sometimes manipulated had retaliated with a force she had neither anticipated nor provoked. For so long, her power lay in steering men along paths she deemed righteous. Now, she questioned whether her need to command had blinded her to their humanity. Jack Brennan sensed her turmoil before Carly admitted it. The next morning, he arrived at her door with a single rose, white, symbolizing both peace and a new beginning. "You don't have to face this alone anymore," he said quietly, voice firm yet gentle. Carly, usually composed and unflappable, allowed a glimmer of vulnerability to surface. In that moment, Jack's own journey crystallized. He would no longer be a knight-errant under Carly's banner, but a partner to share the burdens of leadership, love, and consequence. Meanwhile, at the marina, Sonny Corinthos assembled his inner circle. Under the flickering neon sign of Sonny's Dockside Cafe, he confronted his lieutenants, Nate, Brooke Lynn, and even Damian Spinelli, revealing the chaos that threatened their empire. The sale to Jens Sidwell remained paused, but the threat of Drew Kane's retaliation loomed like a gathering storm. "We are not pawns in some game," Sonny declared, eyes blazing with the ferocity that had long made him both revered and feared. "We set the rules. We choose our battles." His crew listened, galvanized by his conviction, pledging renewed loyalty to the man who had never wavered, even when his decisions sparked internal revolt. Across the city, Jason Morgan grappled with his own regrets. In Kelly's diner, over black coffee and leftover guilt, he confessed to Sam McCall and Damian that his well-intended meddling had set these tragic events in motion. "I thought I was protecting them," he admitted, voice hushed. "But all I did was feed this war." Sam, ever his moral compass, placed her hand on his. "You still have time to fix it," she urged, reminding him that redemption was forged in action, not in remorse. As the day wore on, the media caught wind of Carly's absence from public events and Sonny's canceled meetings with Sidwell. Rumors spiraled, allegations of domestic violence, whispers of a mob boss losing his grip. Even for Port Charles, accustomed to scandal, this was uncharted territory. The Corinthos family name, once synonymous with strength, now dangled on the edge of disgrace. In a move that surprised many, Carly convened a press conference at the SBSPD Community Outreach Center, no longer as the iron-willed corporate strategist, but as a woman stripped of pretense. With Jack by her side, she addressed the city. Port Charles deserves transparency. Painfully, I learned that control can be both a shield and a prison, she said, voice steady. She recounted the dock's controversy, not as a battle of wills, but as a lesson in trust and empathy. We will rebuild what has been broken, our relationships, our businesses, our hearts. Her apology rippled through media circuits. Some hailed her bravery, others dismissed it as another sophisticated play for sympathy. Yet, in that moment, Carly relinquished the guise of infallibility, forging a new path that balanced authority with vulnerability. Across town, Sonny listened to a live broadcast of her speech. His face, chiseled and unreadable, softened as he absorbed her words. He recognized the strength it took to stand before the public and own one's faults. For the first time since the slap that rocked the city, respect and regret mingled within him. When the broadcast ended, he picked up the phone and dialed a number etched into his memory, Diane Miller, his longtime counsel. "Diane, it's Sonny," he said, voice quiet. "I need help, more than legal strategy. I need to understand when a man should fight and when he should step back." The lawyer's calm voice on the other end promised guidance, both professional and personal. As the afternoon light faded, Sonny found himself contemplating a future where strength meant knowing when to yield. Yet, amid these personal reckonings, Port Charles's underbelly continued to churn. Drew Kane, thought to have vanished, watched from the shadows of an abandoned warehouse. In his hand glinted a single tarot card, the tower, unstable and foreboding. With a faint smile, he slipped back into the city's arteries, unseen, ready to exploit any fracture in the power structure. Thus, the stage resets once more. Bonds have been tested, allegiances realigned, and lessons painfully learned. But the true test lies ahead, whether Sonny and Carly, set on paths of mutual respect, can harness their personal growth to thwart the lingering specter of manipulation. Whether Jack can rise as a partner, not a pawn. Whether Jason can atone for unintended consequences. And whether Port Charles, a city forged by struggle, can emerge stronger when its most formidable players choose unity over control. Their stories remain unfinished, each chapter a testament to the fragile interplay of power and empathy. In this city, where secrets fester and loyalties shift like tides, one truth stands resolute. Sometimes, the hardest battles are fought not to dominate others, but to conquer oneself.